Have you always been curious about Fran, that litty creature at the end of those rad Zubafy videos? Is everyone talking about how Fran helps them write, but you don't even know what's going on? Hi, I'm Dr. Clay Zuba, inventor of Zubafy. If you've ever been in my English classroom, met any of my students, or watched a Zubafy video, I'm sure you've come across that joyous creature known as Fran. Fran has brought me and my students and my writing community overall a great amount of happiness and bravery. But at the same time, Fran can be quite elusive and mysterious. In this video, I'll do my best to explain Fran and help you see ways that Fran can help you on your writing journey. Yes! People ask me two things about Fran: where she came from and what she is. Fran first appeared in my classroom in 2018. It was one of those days when students were working on the whiteboards and students started drawing animals. One student drew a donkey. At the end of the day, I erased most of these animals, but for some reason, I left the donkey up. Then, a couple of days later, I wrote the word Fran on it. Eventually, a couple of days still later, I erased that donkey, and students immediately asked me, "Where's Fran? What happened to Fran?" Luckily, I had taken a picture of Fran, so I could still include Fran in presentations that I gave or slideshows that I gave my students. Eventually, students asked for Fran so much that I just made a sticker, and students put Fran on their laptops, on their water bottles, some of them on their books. Students continued to draw Fran in my classroom in various different incarnations, and Fran even became a unicorn, which is one of her most common manifestations right now. At the same time, I've seen Fran appear as a fish, as a cow, as a hippo, as all kinds of animals, often appearing as these animals with a unicorn's horn. Fran seems to show up in a lot of the most unexpected places where I teach, and has even been adopted by some of the faculty. She's now made it into the end trailer of the Zubafy videos, and through those Zubafy videos, I hope she's becoming a part of my virtual classroom too. Even though I know where Fran came from, when students ask me what she is, I'm not sure how to answer. I think that Fran changes from year to year, and I think who she is depends on who my students are and what they need. I don't know if I even think it matters who Fran is to me. What it matters is who Fran is to you. When I assign an especially challenging reading to my students, sometimes they say that Fran helped them understand it. When students pose challenging questions about readings and try to answer them together, sometimes Fran works with them in their groups. I've even had one student tell me that when she worked on her essays that Fran helped her with them and gave her confidence. I think she in part gives students confidence by serving as a kind of physical manifestation of the students who would normally be with my other students in the classroom while they're working. In this sense, I think that Fran might work something like a spirit animal. Shamanistic, animistic, and many indigenous cultures and even New Age spiritualists believe in spirit animals that are spiritual creatures that can help people undertake and complete the most physical, and spiritual journeys. Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American scholar and philosopher, said that the scholar must be brave because the scholar must overcome ignorance, and ignorance creates fear in our hearts and minds. I think there's a sense in which thinking critically in English language and arts can create a kind of fear because it makes us confront what we don't know. It makes us ask very difficult questions, and perhaps most frightening, it makes us try to communicate what we're seeing in literature, which is very difficult. I think there's some ways that trying to communicate what literature and writing are making us feel and think is almost impossible, and we have to really struggle at the limits of our ability to communicate and the very limits of language itself in order to try to write about what we're critically thinking about literature. I think that this is where Fran helps. Having a guide like Fran can help us succeed in our journeys of discovery as we write and read about unfamiliar, sometimes, quite often, in fact, intimidating works of literature. She can work as a symbolic connection of those around us who also feel daunted as they undertake the same kinds of journeys in writing and literature. I think what's important is not who Fran is or why she works, but that she does work to help my students grow as writers and readers. What's important is that there's something going on with Fran that's beautiful and inspiring and working to bring people joy and bravery in English studies and bring them together as a community. I hope Fran helps you feel part of this writing community that you're becoming a part of as you watch Zubafy and learn right now. Who's Fran to you? Drop your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching Zubafy and for supporting Fran and for supporting, most of all, each other. Bye.